Hello, my name is David Ruther, and I'm here to help you, to answer all of your questions that you may have about the voice and what is getting in the way, for crying out loud. What is getting in the way? Well, a lot of things are getting in the way. In that last video, we talked about the anatomy of the voice, or the anatomy of the sound that you're actually creating. We know that it's 100 muscles. We know that, your stomach, your abs, everything does play a part, but it's to take away tension from here. This can carry a lot of tension. How do we get rid of it? All of those things. Well, as I said at the end of that video, we have defense mechanisms that come into play. Okay, we have defense mechanisms that immediately when you go to make sound, we need to have a checklist. And the first and foremost being, what's happening in the larynx? What's happening? Because what is happening is the fact that most of us sing with tension. So if our jaw is really tight and our tongue is swallowing, or we're swallowing our tongue, or our hinges are really tight and our chin is really tight, that is because there are defense mechanisms that come into play. Now, we talked about the pharynx system. The first system that it hits is your throat, okay? But if your body at all thinks you are going to swallow, that's where the first defense mechanism comes into play. And that defense mechanism is called the epiglottis. And the epiglottis is a piece of muscle that sits at the back of your throat. And you can't feel it, but watch what happens. So put your hand right here and just swallow for me. Larynx went up, larynx went down. Okay? The reason why is because the larynx went up is to cover where your vocal folds actually sit, and the epiglottis covered where your vocal folds sit. Okay? Now, you ever swallow something down the wrong hole? I have all the time, and you need to take a drink. You're like, oh my gosh. That's because the epiglottis did not do its job, and it allowed something to go into where your vocal folds actually sit. And it irritated them, which is why you need water, which is why you cough, all of those things. You have a reaction. But you're sitting there thinking, David, what does that even have to do with me singing? Well, I'm going to tell you. So, as I told you, that larynx rises. So if your body at all, with the tension that it has, if it thinks you're going to swallow, it does this. It rises, the larynx rises. So say your jaw is tense, right? And your mouth is like this because we don't open up our mouths when we sing. First and foremost, just open up your mouth when you sing. Right? I don't say that to be mean. I'm just saying, like, just open your mouth. Just open your mouth. See what's going on. Yeah. I would say 99.9% of people who are singers do not open up their mouth wide enough to let the sound happen. So just open your mouth. But it's not that simple. Because we're carrying tension. We're listening to ourselves. Am I good? Am I bad? All of these things are going through your head. It's running like crazy through there. You're like, oh my gosh, is it good? Is it bad? This causes tension. So what happens is then the larynx starts to rise, the epiglottis starts to cover because it thinks you're going to swallow. It thinks your body is going to swallow. But it doesn't swallow, so it's only kind of semi-covering it. So the sound is having to do this. But if your body is relaxed with your jaw, right here, your hinges, your tongue, everything, then your larynx sits nice and relaxed, the epiglottis sits right where it's supposed to be, and the sound comes up and out. Right? Easier said than done, right? That's in concept. That's like that's in a perfect world, but how do I get around that? Well, again, making sure this plays a part, making sure, just kind of yawn a little bit. Get that larynx nice and relaxed. Get that larynx nice and neutral. Don't shove it down. Don't be mean to it. Just relax it, right? And just produce your own level of sound. Right? So now we're just little sounds. Just little sounds here and there. That's all we need. We don't need to be singing like an entire song, creating bad habits. Can you do 5 minutes and just like in the shower or something and just be like, that's all you need to do. It's like a workout. It's literally like a workout because you're training your muscles to do exactly what they're supposed to be doing while you're singing. So by doing that, then when you actually go to make sound or actually go to sing a song or do something like that, this is like, oh yeah, we should probably just relax, right? So now everything is relaxed. But that was not in my high voice, David. That wasn't in my higher register. Whenever I get to my higher register, blah, 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 blah. Happens. How do I get around that? Well, there are several ways to get around it, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. I want you to concentrate. Don't worry about the high note. I'm going to have a whole video about the high note. And by the way, it's just a note. It's just a note. Don't be scared of it. It's just a note. If you look at it like that, then it's kind of silly that you're scared of a note. So don't be scared of a note. Okay? But back to what I was saying before, just relax. Oh yeah. Just relax. And produce some natural sound. Some natural sound that your body is willing to accept, that your body is willing to go through, that your body is willing to say, I can relax and do that. Absolutely, I can relax and do that. You try to go any higher, though, and I definitely will have tension. So don't even try to go any higher. That makes sense? If you have any questions, please go to those links down below on my Instagram, my Facebook page, or my website, and I want to answer your questions. Okay? And no question, and this is what I want you to understand, no question is a dumb question, okay? Except for, if it doesn't pertain to singing, okay? It has to pertain to singing or making sound or producing sound or performing or all of that kind of stuff, So when you're doing that, when you're asking your questions, make sure that you're going through that checklist. When you're asking yourself those questions, make sure you're going through the checklist. Down, 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 tensionless, regular sound. Regular sound. That's all you need to think about. Again, my name is David Ruther, and I'm here to help.